Hi, I'm Misha and this is my colleague George Michaelopoulos, and this is Hegemonix. Come on in, we got the game on. Um, we're here kind of to talk about, do I?
Episode 3.
Episode three,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're racking them up now.
Mhm.
We got several things to talk about. Like I said last time we were here, I tend to look at it as two wars going on, a war here at home and then the East-West thing abroad. And the war here at home has a couple of fronts on it, and they're really all one front between, basically MAGA and the old establishment.
Mhm.
Um, we got this Epstein, I'm going to say Epstein
Yeah, me too.
thing. Trump, over the last few days, has started to name names, which is
Yes.
kind of interesting. Larry Summers, some hedge fund managers, Bill Clinton, people
Mhm.
who basically lived or frequented um, Epstein Island.
Yeah.
And he's got this thing with Ghislaine Maxwell where he sent what I saw was his attorneys, his personal attorney, that one of them that defended him in the impeachment,
Mhm.
sent him to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, and they gave her limited immunity. So anything that she says that might implicate her in anything that's she's revealing, she'd have immunity for. And they apparently they've gone over around 100 names, and she's been cooperating fully. And I think they were going to do a second day. Is the last thing that I heard of interviews with her. And so I think we kind of, those of us or those who um, said that Trump was trying to dismiss the whole Epstein thing out of hand, I think jumped the gun a little bit because whether he intended to do that or not, or whether he intended to lay a trap for everybody to bring in
Mhm.
the Democrats
Mhm.
to be, we want Epstein, we want Epstein. Well,
Mhm.
okay, I'll give you Epstein. Or
Mhm.
you know, I I think he's going to pursue this.
I think so too.
He wouldn't have done the thing with Maxwell, I don't think, if he wasn't intended to pursue it.
I I I I just want to get ahead of this and say that I don't think Ghislaine Maxwell committed suicide next week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's
I'm just putting that out there.
yeah, yeah. Well, she is in she's put herself in considerable danger by doing
Yeah.
this because whatever she says, if she's not available for trial, is just hearsay.
Mhm.
And so that would be one thing that if I were going to get caught in the web, that I'd make sure she's not available for trial.
I want to ask you a question, a legal question, because you're a lawyer. As I understand it, once you've been given immunity, you cannot plead the fifth. You have to say what happened. Is that correct?
Yeah, or you'd be held in contempt of court,
Okay.
and then they'd throw you in the jail until you decided to change your mind. As
Okay.
long as it's stuff that's subject to the deal, the immunity deal, as
Right.
long as you're testifying towards that stuff, you can't say
Yeah.
I refuse to answer on the grounds it may incriminate me, um, because there's no danger of that, and so you can't invoke it. Yeah.
I I I want to say I agree with you because even though the optics looked bad for the past 10 days or so, it looked like Trump was turning on his base and he was being narcissistic and turning it back. What are you talking about? Epstein, blah, 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 blah. And it looked bad. It just really looked bad. And it was giving the left ammunition. Oh, he's a pedo protector and all that. And, you know, and I was thinking, if he really wanted to bury this, he was going about it the wrong way. And so I'm thinking again, 5D chess here. I'm thinking he's provoking the left to excuse me uh, to caterwaul about it and to keep on talking like, yes, we need to go after. And so finally he says, okay, I give up. Here's the, here's the files, you know, and, you know, it's that old saying, you better, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, you know? So
Yeah.
that's what I think has
I,
been
I
going on. I do not think he, well, let's just put the cards on the table. I use that cliche a lot. If Trump were implicated in this Epstein list or Lolita Island or whatever, we'd have known about it 2 years ago.
oh yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. There's
That's
no question. And I- it was earlier today that it really hit me that probably I'm not sure what he was thinking when he first said, in that one I think it was like a cabinet meeting or something where he talked about, are you
yeah.
still talking about Epstein
It was a
or
cabinet meeting.
Epstein?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um it looks now from in retrospect like he was laying a trap for him. Like
Yeah.
he was saying, don't look here, don't look here, don't look here,
Yeah.
don't follow me, don't follow me, don't,
Yeah.
like the uh
Yeah.
because everything that's happened, since then is starting to release files. He's sending things to it creates this they can't now the trap was the Democrats, like you said, want to say that Trump is on the list.
Right.
Okay. Now, there's first of all, there's not a list, but there's
Right.
gonna be one because Trump's gonna make one out of what
Right.
what
Exactly.
Ghislaine
You
Maxwell
got
say. Now,
a
there is her little
DVD
black book.
here of Senator George Mitchell banging some underage chick, a DVD here of Prince Andrew banging some underage chick,
Right,
Bill Mitchell, the late Bill Mitchell, you know. Okay, well, they're not on a list, but we got the tapes. We'll just put them
right.
together. You got your list now.
Yeah. And so he was kind of baiting the Democrats in the sense that, okay, you want to say that I'm involved, that I'm best buddies with Epstein, and that I've done all this stuff. Okay, I'll give you the opportunity to do it. I'll just turn around and say, no, there's nothing here to see. Then you create this big,
Hmm.
hurrah. And it's
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, well, fine. We'll feed you all you want to eat of this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it looks like. Um,
Yeah. Here's the shit sandwich, and I'm going to put ketchup on it for you just to make it a little bit more palatable. And
all
I'm going to
right.
force it in your mouth. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. With that, I'm not sure. I guess there's going to be more coming out as the days go by. They'll be releasing more from the Justice Department. But Pam Mondi's got her hands full with some other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Um, they've got this Russiagate, Obamagate thing
Yeah.
that Tulsi has unleashed on the world,
Hmm.
and the buzz this past week was about the Trump versus U.S. Decision where he got the Supreme Court to say that the president has immunity for official acts, things like communications with intelligence services and with his cabinet and
Hmm.
that kind of thing. And Trump has admitted, or he has stated uh, in front of cameras that he might have done Obama a favor by getting that decision.
Hmm.
That maybe, but there are two things about that. One, this was a continuing. This thing didn't end January 20th of 2017. This was a continuing conspiracy of the
Right.
intelligence services and the Clinton camp and Obama probably. And all they have to do is get one conversation of him after June or after January 20th, 2017, where he's discussing the details of the conspiracy that they're putting together, with all
Hmm.
these other people. and they drag him back into that,
Yeah.
and they and it doesn't matter because there wouldn't be any immunity after he leaves office.
Right.
So there's that. Then there's the other thing that if I'm the president and I order my Secretary of Defense to go out and murder somebody for no reason other than they flipped me the bird when I was passing by in my motorcade. I'm not sure that that qualifies as an official act of the
I
president.
I'm not a lawyer, but I would say not.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets the higher the egregious conduct is
Mhm,
on its face,
mhm.
the less it looks like it's something that is protected by immunity. So I wouldn't rule out the possibility that they could get him for stuff that he did while he was still president, but I don't think they'll need to. They may have ample stuff if they continue to watch him and be privy to whatever conversations he's had with these people
Yeah,
after he was out of office.
yeah. Well, uh, alo along those lines, uh, the, you know, you know, you're not supposed to kill the president of the United States, but let's say he breaks into your house at 2 o'clock in the morning and he tries to burgle your house or rape your wife. Well, okay, that's kind of, I would imagine that's not an official act, but
Right.
again,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be understandable, yeah, but I don't know, I mean, uh, having said that, as much as I would like to uh, hoist the Democrats on their own petard about no man is above the law,
Hmm.
and that would mean that Obama's frog marched into prison or into court in an orange jumpsuit, and and then he's convicted and put in prison. Uh, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's realistic. Uh, and ultimately, I kind of wouldn't want to see it anyway, but I would want to see everybody under him: Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Hillary, Susan Rice, you know,
Yeah.
um, Rahm Emanuel. You just go down the line. I would call it a day if any one of these people went to prison. I really would, you know,
Yeah.
and and it would give future Democrats pause about doing things illegally, egregiously illegally, or using lawfare against political opponents, which we never did. I mean, until they raided Mar-a-Lago, what
Hmm.
was it, 2022?
Hmm.
I mean, Nixon was immunized. He took a pardon, and they didn't go after him. They didn't pursue lawfare against him at all.
Yeah.
Um, as far as LBJ, that man should have fried in the electric chair for everything he did. But, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing, they didn't pursue him. Now, the Furies, uh, hounded him for the rest of his life. He let his hair grow long, chain smoked, and just crawled into a bottle, but because of his guilty conscience.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But you know, the DOJ didn't go after him. They just let him rot.
Yeah, it was understood up until Nixon. That was when,
Yeah.
and I believe that was a CIA operation because the
Oh yeah, it
what
totally was.
was naval intelligence,
Yeah.
and that's how you get from naval intelligence to the Washington to a nice column on the Washington Post, is if you happen
Yeah.
to be getting
Yeah.
stuff from the CIA or
If
under the CIA.
if if you ever get a chance, I wish I had it here. Get the book "The Man Who Killed Kennedy" by Roger Stone,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and it's got a picture of LBJ, a mugshot of LBJ on it. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, he goes into it like you wouldn't believe. The detail is just unbelievable. And then in the afterword, he talks about the USS Liberty lobby, or the USS Liberty incident, and how LBJ tried to orchestrate, um, committed treason against a naval vessel, an American naval vessel, to get us involved into a war against Egypt during the Six-Day War.
Mm.
And if it wasn't for the bravery and the courage and the determination of those sailors who were not aware that they were being set up by their own government, um, when that ship would have sunk and every last one of them would have drowned.
Mm.
But they were able to keep it afloat and to keep the story alive. Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of perfidy in the Democratic quarters.
Mhm.
Benghazi, you know,
Oh yeah,
whole whole thing.
oh yeah,
The thing that I'm hoping is going to happen is whichever one of these things sticks, or anything else that sticks, they need to put enough of the Democratic Party in prison in order to taint their name badly enough that they're not competitive electorally at a
yeah,
national level anymore, and so they kind of die out.
right,
Uh, that's what I'm hoping is going to come out of all this,
yeah,
and I don't think that. I think that Trump is pretty much on that page. He's said as much in little snips and stuff that he's done on Truth Social, and
hmm,
little memes that he's put on about there won't be anything left except uh, a pride parade and a. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but there'd be nothing left of the Democratic Party except just very few remnants of it when he was done. Um, he said it was funny. I'll have to look up the quote, but I think that's where the whole thing is heading. And if Epstein gets us there, that's good. If Obamagate gets us there, that's good.
yeah,
All these things tie in. Um, and it all I can't get the feeling out of my gut that this is what it looks like when an empire is really on the skids,
yeah,
when the rot has gotten to the head, or started from the head and has gotten to the heart or whatever,
right,
and the coalition of the establishment Democrats and establishment Republicans um, became so corrupt and enabling each other that there was just complete impunity, and they thought they could project any image they want to through the media. Then the media changed, and everybody's a reporter. Everybody's
yeah,
got their uh, cell phones, and they can
yeah.
take footage of anything.
You
And
know,
the rules have changed because there's all kinds of independent media.
oh yeah. Well, along those lines, was it last December in which two homosexuals were caught having sex in one of the Senate committee rooms or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Um, I mean, this is Rome at 454 AD,
yeah,
basically. We're right before the Visigoths come in, and
yeah,
it's just I mean, yeah, yeah,
yeah. People will look back on this age, and they'll think, "What in the name of God were they thinking of?" All the crazy stuff that we have. Um, Now, I assume that their grand juries have been convened or are going to be convened in this Russiagate thing, Obamagate
yeah.
thing. I'd say that if Pam Bondi wants to redeem herself, that's what she's doing right now, is getting them together, getting indictments together.
I agree.
Uh,
And even if it's going to be a DC, the chances of a conviction are not that great.
right.
Not impossible, but just not that great. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Rake them over the coals. Take months of newsworthy stories, and you know let them spend tens of thousands of dollars in legal bills.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's going to be a hung jury or or jury nullification, okay, fine, then that's on DC. But in the court of public opinion, it'll be like, yeah, these people were guilty,
Yeah.
and and that's fine.
I think they'll probably drag him down to Florida if they can.
Oh, probably. Okay.
Try him down there,
Yeah.
um, or someplace where they think they're going to have a favorable uh, jury pool.
Yeah. I don't know how that's done, but yeah.
Um, and so that takes us up to yeah. I was gonna harp a little bit on the layers of lies and fraud and stuff, but I think we pretty much covered that. The whole thing.
Hmm.
It's gotten so. If it were a building, it would be half eaten by termites,
Yeah.
and you'd hear stuff creaking
Yeah.
and it's coming down. Um, Now, on a related note, um, we know how much money laundering and all kinds of nefarious stuff was going from DC to Ukraine and back,
Yeah.
where the money was getting kicked back. And so now we have the situation developing in Ukraine where they went over the last few weeks. Zelensky has been much more open to the idea of meeting. He wants to go meet Putin, wherever Putin is willing to meet him. Putin doesn't want to meet him.
Mhm.
He doesn't like him, first of all, but beyond that, he doesn't feel like he's the actual person he needs to be meeting with because there haven't been any elections. And even if he signs something, he doesn't think that it would hold up under international law. And Putin's a lawyer and he is very dot your I's and cross your T's on everything that has to
Yeah.
do with that. Now there's some posing there, just to say, you caused me a lot of trouble, and I'm not gonna make it any easier for you by recognizing your little junta that you have over there.
Hmm.
Um, but he's been willing to. Zelensky's wanted to, and so they have gotten this meeting at Istanbul, which
Hmm.
apparently lasted all of 34 minutes.
Wow.
We were in the same room together. And I saw online somebody said, "Well, that's not long for a meeting." I said, 34 minutes is a long time to curse at one another. I mean, if nothing's coming out of your
Uh,
mouth except obscenities, that's a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Uh, but it came up, and we talked about this earlier before about Armchair Warlord, who is a personality on X,
Hmm.
who is well read and well informed in general, who believes, and I think it's plausible, that Zelensky and at least some cohort immediately around him, they took out or they shut down those NGOs, non-governmental organizations
Yes.
in the Ukraine, which were Western operated. That's
Sure.
basically CIA stations
Of
in
course.
Ukraine. Um, that he took those out, and then of course he had the reaction of them to do another color revolution there, which is why
Yeah.
the rhetoric concerning him has gotten ugly over the past couple of weeks. But Armchair Warlord thinks that he was trying to surrender at Istanbul, and that the Russians just said, "Nah, you made your bed, you got to lie in it," and that was the meeting, the 34-minute meeting.
Hmm.
Um, and then Armchair Warlord said that they reinstated the NGOs. I'm not sure whether that's true or not because I saw something conflicting
Hmm.
about that before we came on the air here. Um, but one way or another, I mean, I don't think we're going to have the same conversation next year this time,
Now,
uh, or even you know close to Christmas. Um,
yeah.
uh,
Well, interestingly, you know, Godfather, great movie, one of the great movies of all time. Follow the Money. Okay,
yeah,
so uh, Putin, or I'm not sorry, Zelensky closes down these two anti-corruption bureaus,
right.
and then all of a sudden you have massive protests in Kiev, in the Maidan. Fairly massive, not as massive as the 2014 ones, but significant.
There,
What
yeah,
struck me about these is I saw photos, and there were men everywhere, and I'm talking about men in their 20s, men in their 30s, and I've also seen videos, as have you, and as everybody else, over the past year and a half, of these Ukrainian press gangs um, grabbing young men, pulling them out of their cars, dragging them out of a grocery store or whatever, and shoving them into vans, and then giving them a gun and a uniform, and
Yeah.
and and they're dead within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm looking at these photos of these protests, and that's a target-rich environment right there for all for the Ukrainian SBU, or whatever it is you call it, the
Yeah.
those secret police. Why why aren't they there gathering up those young men, who are anti-government, anti-Zelensky?
Mm.
You would think so. So that tells me that this is orchestrated by the CIA, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the
it's
two
it's just
I read,
obvious.
yeah. Well, I read someplace that what they're doing with the drafting stuff is they haven't gone below, as far as I know, 25 yet. They were talking about going down to 21 or even to
Yeah,
18.
21.
And I'm not sure how far down they got, but I think it was 25. And
Mhm.
so what I heard was that there weren't that many guys in that from the over 25 in the crowd. But I don't think that I mean, I agree with you in your point that I think it was probably CIA, and they probably said don't touch these people, or don't harm him, or don't go in there, God forbid, with press gangs, because you're just going to exacerbate the situation even more.
Mhm.
Um, but they would resist if they were out there protesting. I mean, if somebody came, if you're
Well,
gonna,
that's possible, but are we missing the big picture here? And that is that this is a color revolution against Zelensky, that now
yeah,
we have now tired of his shenanigans, and we're going to replace him with Zelensky.
yeah, it might be a good photo op, just like the snipers at the Maidan, the original
Yeah,
Maidan. I mean, that spurred a lot. That's true.
yeah, I don't know. Uh,
It's hard to say when you're not on the ground over there. Even
yeah,
if you were, it's just a
yeah.
cesspool.
I just
Uh,
can't get it out of my mind that the United States, the CIA, whatever, State Department, deep state, pretty much calls the shots as far as Ukraine is concerned.
mhm. Yeah,
I just
I
can't
mean,
get that out of my head.
if he, if Zelensky did want to surrender, that thought probably, I think, I mean, I've said it before when things were getting rough, here and there, that he probably has a plane fueled up
Yeah,
someplace. And this would be a really good time
yeah,
if the Russians won't let you surrender and you have to start back up the NGOs, and it doesn't look like the military situation is such that it's going
yeah,
to keep the military from collapsing, and you're going to have Russians in Kiev sooner rather than later. And like I said, you can't surrender to them. At some point in the very near future, I
yeah,
mean, the logical thing for a man to do, even if he were strung out totally on cocaine and vodka, if he has any sense of self-preservation left, if he's
yeah.
listening to his wife at
His
all,
wife, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
he
But he's got
should
three
get
kids.
away. He should be. I'd be out of there long before that. I wouldn't
Oh
have
yeah,
done any
yeah,
of this stuff, but I'd be out of there long before this.
yeah,
Uh, so, and the other thing that came up, um, you hear more stories about the front collapsing, and that the Russians are just doing open field running and taking
hmm,
lots of territory. And I wonder if Trump's 50 days
mm.
isn't really just a window that he's given. I thought you might have brought this up the last time that we were talking.
I
A
think I
window
did. Yeah,
uh, open to say, look, uh, President Putin, get it done.
Yeah, get
Just
her
go
done.
ahead, do it. You said it was time to finish it up. Finish it up.
Yeah,
Eh,
it was like it was like the 12-day war between Iran and Israel.
Yeah,
There's the bookends, 12 days, done. Go
yeah,
back to your corners, you know?
we're going to control this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to admire him that he just won't let things misbehave too much. He just
Hmm.
wants to keep things under some kind of order, which you got to
Hmm.
admire that. There are a couple other things. China,
Mm.
the EU sent a delegation over to China, and the delegation got off the plane, and the Chinese made them get on the tour bus to take
I
them
didn't
to
know
their
that. Oh.
on a tour bus to take them to their accommodations.
You, I don't mean to interrupt, but that reminds me. In the last few weeks of Obama's presidency, he landed in China, and they didn't roll up the stairway for him to get off, and so he had to go out through the back of the plane with all the luggage.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be really bitchy when they want to.
Yeah, and they're not gonna get in your face and they're not gonna yell. They're just
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah,
treat you like the
yeah,
worst, the lowest servant,
yeah.
possible. That's the way
I
they
didn't
do it.
know that about the Europeans.
Yeah, they put
That's
them on a tour
interesting.
bus and they took them over there, and then they had the meeting, and the Europeans were trying to press them to somehow distance themselves from Russia
Yeah,
and from Iran, and they were not having any of it, and it
yeah,
didn't last. I think it only lasted a day, and then they
yeah,
got back on the plane and went
yeah,
back home.
yeah.
Um,
I just don't understand the European mentality. I mean, they've had centuries of diplomacy, people like Metternich and Talleyrand, and these guys knew how the game was played. And when um, you know, uh, go go after Russia and just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going, and then you always talk about Taiwan. What incentive do the Chinese have to break free from Russia? They have none. And let's be honest, Russia is the NATO of BRICS. They're the strong arm.
yeah,
Okay, just like the United States is the strong arm of NATO or of the EU. I
yeah,
mean, without us, the EU is nothing. Without Russia, China would be, I'm not going to say nothing, but they're not a near peer. Or they're not a peer. They're a near peer. Whereas Russia is a peer adversary to the United States. Now, in 10 years, maybe China will be a peer. Whatever. But uh, I just don't know why anybody, especially a couple of months ago, didn't Pakistan and India have a dogfight?
yeah,
And the Pakistanis won that hands down, and they were using Chinese jets.
yeah.
It just goes to show you how much more superior Chinese equipment is. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, they're developing stuff all the time, and they're not. There's not. I mean, I know Trump wants to, and I know Eldridge Colby, who's undersecretary or something in state,
Mm. Yeah, he's
uh,
number three.
wants to get. Yeah, he wants to get in between Russia and China, but there's not any way to do it. There's no daylight there
Yeah,
because they know that China's the manufacturing powerhouse of the world,
yeah,
and Russia's the military powerhouse of the world.
yeah,
And you put those two things together, and they can take on the finance powerhouse of the
yeah,
world, which is
yeah,
basically what you're saying,
yeah,
in front of you. And the Chinese, they are conflict averse, for the most part.
Yeah.
I think they will harass and do things
Hmm.
um, on the margins militarily.
Hmm.
But as far as wanting to go full out against anybody, that's the last thing that's really on their mind. But they're preparing that they may have to do that
Yeah.
in the Pacific.
Well,
And
the Pentagon did 10 war game scenarios as far as Taiwan is concerned. And I think we lost every one but one.
Mm.
9 out of 10 is what I read.
Yeah, Pete Picture,
So,
something like that. Yeah,
those aren't good odds.
no, and you might, if anything, be underestimating what the Chinese can do because you don't really
Yeah.
know. Um, yeah, I, I get this feeling, and I saw something. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Jack Ma, the Chinese businessman, he disappeared for a long time, and then he showed back up again.
Uh-huh.
And he had a podcast on or a talk where he was explaining what happened with the Chinese and the Russians after the end of the Cold War and how the West took its eye off the ball.
Yeah.
And they've been building slowly up to the point where you don't have to have an army invade anything. You just got so much power that you can use soft power to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Uh, Man, I thought that's a pretty good point. I've listened to
Hmm.
about a third of it myself.
Hmm.
Uh, the only other thing I have on my list, and let's see, we're 36 minutes. Iran um, changed its tune a bit, and they're saying there was lots of destruction at the sites now.
Oh, really?
That's what I would say if I were Iran and I didn't want the Israelis to hit, to keep
Oh,
striking
okay.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, in fact, it surprised me that after the strike that the Iranians didn't come out and say everything's gone, you know, because you don't want them back, regardless of whether you may have a program, but until you're ready to either announce to the world that you have it or do some kind of underground testing, which is going to set off the seismographs every place, you don't necessarily, I mean, you don't want them coming back to do stuff.
Right.
But it's a balance because if you appear too weak, then
Hmm.
they're hungry wolves and they'll want to come in. And then, that's why I wonder how long that's going to last. I said before when we went and bombed that stuff over there, that within 6 months, and I think probably by the end of the year, before the end of the year, either they'll announce that they have one, or the seismographs will go off, and we'll know that they have one.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know, one thing that stuck in my mind after the so-called 12-day war is how willing the Iranians were able to step back, even though they'd been bombed, even though their president had been assassinated, even though their embassy had been destroyed in Syria. I mean, all these horrible provocations, which are against international law, uh, against every way you do diplomacy and you conduct, the jus gentium or 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 the law of nations. I mean, you
mhm,
just don't go around bombing embassies
mhm,
and or shooting down or killing their president. And I'm thinking, why are they willing to just turn tail? And I'm viewing this as a strategic retreat because we know that, and it's been out there, that the Israelis have heavily penetrated the Iranian government, the leadership, the intel community, probably the military.
mhm.
They've got significant assets there, and that's one reason why they were able to, those first two or 3 days, they were able to take out some interesting sites and to, just, it seemed like the Iranians were paralyzed.
Yeah.
My my feeling is that the Iranians are having to retreat, reassess, find out who the traitors are. Uh, at the very least, not go forward with with any aggressive action, because who who knows if you're going to be stabbed in the back,
Yeah.
or some Iranian is going to call up an Israeli counterpart and say that these missiles are coming in, or you know is Iranian aircraft have just left this air base and blah blah blah. So that's what I think is going on. In which case, they're being very very tactical,
Hmm.
or not tactical. They're being very strategically wise,
Yeah.
thinking, well, I mean, Pearl Harbor, we didn't immediately go and bomb Tokyo. We had to figure out what the hell went wrong. You know, you know, what 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 what's our Pacific Fleet look like? You
Hmm.
know, um, are we going to plan something? How are we going to plan it? When are we going to strike? You just don't go off half cocked, you know. So, but Pearl Harbor is a whole other issue. What and we could talk about.
Yeah, um it did remind the Iranians of that because they were right in the middle of negotiations when the Israelis
Yeah,
uh, struck. And I think that probably made an impression on them that if I mean, there are two ways that it goes. Either they're going to come in here and they're going to take over, or we're going to develop nuclear weapons because they're going
yeah,
to keep trying. They're just going to keep rearming
yeah,
and retrying again. So I mean, I think that's probably where they're at, and I agree that this last war, the 12-day war, kind of served as a mole hunt in a way,
yeah,
where they got to shake the trees and see, what fell out, who's going to
right,
be loyal and who's going to be a traitor.
yeah.
That probably will help them out in the future.
I
Um,
think so. I
but
think they're going to get nuclear too, and eventually
yeah,
they just are. I mean, the Israelis overshot. They overplayed their hand, and
yeah.
they did it again in Syria. I mean, pe- people in the United States are just getting freaking tired of it, and I think the Israelis are too. I just don't see that they have the strategic depth to keep on doing what they're doing.
Well, one thing is, I mean, I think um, the Israelis and the people at Langley and whoever else makes decisions here understand that they're losing,
Yeah,
and that's why they're lashing out in these
yeah,
different ways.
yeah,
Ted Postal, who he's the one that had the graphs, that
yeah.
of the bunkers or the sites. He's an expert in all that stuff, nuclear weapons and military affairs, and he's been on record lately as saying he thinks that they're an undeclared nuclear power because that would be the first thing that he would do if he were them. If you have 400 and something kilograms of enriched uranium up to 60 something percent, it doesn't take you a week to get enough of that up
There
to
you go.
80%, 85%. It doesn't have to be 90% in order to make several small yield nuclear
Mhm.
weapons. And that would have been the first order of business and you know, they might say it to somebody at a diplomatic thing. They might show them that they have them
Mhm.
with some kind of footage of what they're doing, rather than explode them and announce to everybody. But I think that it pretty much guaranteed. It's funny if Israel had just backed off. But the thing is, in that region, I still believe that the Iranians, if they, I'm sure they approved the Hamas attack on October 7th,
Yeah,
that they gave it a green light.
yeah,
I don't think that they necessarily endorsed it, encouraged it, or anything like that. but they did supply weapons to
Yeah.
Hamas, and they certainly took advantage of it when it happened
Yeah.
because they got Hezbollah in the north to take out, all of a good stretch of northern Israel is uninhabitable, and those people are like 100,000 of them, and they don't have any intention of coming back unless the Israeli army occupies Lebanon up to the Litani River.
Right.
Um, and the Houthis, nobody can get at them. They're dug in like ticks. They don't,
Hmm.
the Israelis have tried, the Saudis have tried, we've tried, and everybody's gone away like, no, no, no way in there. um, and
Well,
so
yeah.
there's a it is and I think that's another reason why they did Syria is they see this uh, problem with the resistance,
Yeah.
the axis of resistance, and that it is hell bent on slowly but surely killing Israel with 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
I think there's some validity to that, and so like we've said here several times, uh, it ain't over. There's
No.
nothing. All truces are temporary in the Middle East.
Yeah. Yeah. Trump was very, very clever. I guess it was in March when he declared victory against the Houthis,
Mhm.
and clearly it was not a victory. But I have a feeling his people got to their people and said, "Look, we're done. Let's us declare victory. Don't bomb our ships, and you
Mhm.
guys are going to remain there where you're at." Which is, I think Senator George Aiken from Connecticut back in 1966 said, as far as Vietnam, let's declare victory and go home.
Yeah.
And there's some wisdom there. You don't have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
hang the emperor, or put your flag in hi,
Reichstag.
yeah, in
Yeah.
Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon. No, what was the
Oh yeah. Yeah.
uh, you know, the capital of North Vietnam? Just
Yeah.
we wasted 58,000 lives in 10 years. And anyway, so I thought Trump. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's just being a bumptious ass." Yeah, probably, but he was being clever about it, saying, "Yeah, we beat the Houthis, coming home. We're not fighting the Houthis now, are we? We're not seeing the USS Eisenhower at the bottom of the Gulf of Aden."
Right, because I mean, they
Yeah,
have those what is it you call those very fast missiles that
yeah,
Trump is talking about,
yeah.
and they could take out a
Oh yeah,
carrier if they wanted to. And a lot of people are using they know, the people who are in the Eurasian alliance and allied with it know that all they have to do is survive and hold their own, and they're
yeah,
gonna come out of this, on
yeah,
top. And so they're not so quick that they want to count coup, and they don't need the big splash or anything like
yeah,
that. And thank God because especially up until Trump came in, with the last guy who was a crash test dummy, you don't
yeah.
know what any people in his entourage are capable of doing.
Right.
They all have bunkers and places they can go,
Yeah.
if it goes to crap. And so, uh, yeah, but that's the state of the world that we live in right now.
Yep.
Uh, I'm ready to call it if you are.
I am. Enjoyed
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I always enjoy it, George.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's try to do it every Saturday if we can, unless there's a emergency.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the world's going to end on Wednesday, uh,
Yeah.
we ought to try to do something Tuesday night, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All
Well,
right. Well, thank you all for joining us. And until next time, um,
peace out.
be with you. Yeah.
Okay. Take care.